All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. Happy to be here this beautiful Tuesday. A little bit cloudy up here in Toronto, but you know what? Nevertheless, it's a beautiful day. uh, I have here Amalia with me this morning. Looking forward to spending some time with you. I have just lots of updates and news coming from the world of digital marketing. Primarily, a lot of things happening with the search engines, with Google, and also with some updates on Yahoo. But overall, wanted to spend some time with you today. We're going to make it quick and easy, and I definitely will be able to start with our standard agenda. Amalia, before I begin, you want to say hi to the
Yes, of
audience?
course. I just want to welcome everybody to this week's webinar, and we're looking forward to the upcoming weeks and our guest speaker coming towards the end of the month, inclusively to some promotions we might be offering in the next little bit. So definitely we'll keep you posted and definitely sit in and we'll let you in on it.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, well, the holidays are coming around. So next week I'm going to start running a series more on Christmas and, well, actually, not just necessarily Christmas, but just the holidays. Some of the things that you can potentially be reviewing with your clients now that they are going to be preparing for the holidays, whether they're a retail store or a online store. We're going to have different ideas and best business practices from around the industry pertaining to the holiday season, right? That's pretty much upon us very, very, very quickly. So there's a lot to digest, and definitely look forward to sharing that with you all. So to begin today, I just wanted to kind of bring an interesting study that was published by Search Engine Land. As a matter of fact, the study was created by a company called Expert Exchange. And contrary to some industry perception, Siri is apparently not the virtual assistant laggard or falling behind, but the actual leader. As a matter of fact, specifically in this survey that was completed, they found out that Siri actually beats Google Now and Cortana in overall user satisfaction and across a number of specific tasks. Now, there's also Amazon's Echo solution. However, it wasn't part of that study. And from my experience, just knowing a little bit more about voice search and virtual assistants, Amazon Echo is still a little bit behind in regards to usage. So probably wasn't even taken in consideration. The three primary ones are Siri, Google Now, and Cortana. Those are the ones that are really pushing forward. And it is a specific survey. They basically focus a lot on asking participants to perform a list of commands on their smartphones. And with these findings, the virtual assistants were ranked based on accuracy, right, based on the commands, whether or not the virtual assistant properly responded, and also key was satisfaction, how happy users were with the way the virtual assistant performed the command. All participants were randomly selected and users were required to use Cortana, Zero, Google Now. The only thing I wasn't able to find was the number of people that were surveyed. And that's on me. I still got to get that for you. So hopefully before the end of the, the webinar, I can kind of get that number. But it was interesting to note that this infograph pretty much shows the results of this performance and overall satisfaction survey. And as you can see, Siri performed best across all categories. So when we look at the percent of incorrect answers, so that means that users were asking the virtual assistants questions. Cortana came up with 8% of incorrect answers. Google Now 4%, and Siri came at a low 2.6%. Very interesting. When you look at percent of satisfied users, right, you can clearly see that again, Siri, based on this data, had 81% user satisfaction, whereas Google came at 68 and Cortana at 57. So it looks like right now Siri leads a pack, Google Now number 2, and Cortana number 3. Obviously, Siri kind of being one of the most useful virtual assistants as well. What about percent of follow-up questions? So this is a very interesting stat because the percent of follow-up questions has to do with the fact that maybe the first question wasn't answered correctly, or satisfied per se. The user wasn't satisfied with the first answer. So you can see again, Siri edging Google now by a 0.4%. In this case, right, 5.2, and there was a tie between percent of web searches in place of an answer, right, where they actually provided web search results. And you can see here Google Now 5 and Siri 5. So you can see that there is a tight race primarily in some areas between Google Now and Siri, but overall satisfied users, Siri users are more than happy versus Google Now users and Cortana users. So interesting. Wanted to share that with you in case you get asked from a prospect or a client. At least you kind of can see that right now this Siri as a virtual assistant is performing best in the categories. So I don't have the full study, so hopefully before the end of the webinar I'll probably share that link with you if you want to kind of look into more data. But nevertheless an interesting survey that was completed. Amalia, I believe you're going to share with us a little bit of what Google Search is testing currently when it comes to multilingual interfaces.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So I came across this article I want to share. It's basically Google Search is testing split view language interface. So to manage the searchers who speak multiple languages, like myself and many, many others across the world here, fluently, Google is testing a language split view screen in the mobile search results. Google is testing a new method of showing multiple languages in the mobile search results interface in India right now. So Representative shared a screenshot of Google showing basically this individual two tabs, one for English results and the one for Hindi, in a single search results page in a Google in India. Here's a screenshot. I'm sure you can see it right there. A Google spokesperson has stated the following. They are always experimenting with the look and feel of their products, but currently they don't really have anything new to announce other than this. The representative who spotted this test said that Google is showing search results in English and the native language in a tabbed interface. Also, they stated that it makes sense that Google would test an interface like this for countries that have searchers who speak two or more languages fluently. So I really like this new application and look forward to seeing how that evolves. Armando, did you want to add that?
No, it looks like it's something that they're testing out. Doesn't mean that they're going to be rolling it out, but still, we'll see how Google will definitely do this. I think that it from an SEO perspective or an SEO expert, if you are doing some SEO in a in a different language, you can actually see some of the results. So let's say you're running a campaign in different countries, right? Let's say Mexico, the U.S., or U.S. France or Mexico France. This tool would definitely be very helpful to trying to see what's happening in a different country or just different language, right? So yeah, let's see what happens. It's just a test. You're also going to share a little bit about this interesting AdWords loan referral program, right?
Yes, I am. So there's another item I want to share. Also, basically, Google is testing AdWords loan referral program with the Lending Club. A small number of AdWords advertisers have received for loans funded by the peer-to-peer lender. Some AdWords advertisers recently received emails from Google about a loan offer from Lending Club. The loans are meant to be used specifically to fund AdWords advertising campaigns. The email starts such as a valued AdWords customer, we would like to let you know of an offer through Lending Club to help business owners finance their AdWords advertising. And if you refer to I believe I added a picture there for you to view, it does also indicate apparently there's a limited test. A Google spokesperson told Search Engine Land as part of the ongoing work to deliver solutions for advertisers, they're running a small referral test on new potential payment options. Google phased out the AdWords Business Credit Card program on February the 1st of 2015. Google partnered with banks on the credit card program and launched it in the US and the UK in 2012. It gave small business access to credit for the AdWords campaigns. The new Lending Club program could be the replacement option for the program if it works. Lending Club is a peer-to-peer lender that until recently primarily focused on consumer lending. But in April 2015, Lending Club partnered with Google and Alibaba Group US to facilitate the commercial loans. The Google deal is aimed to helping small companies that resell Google for Work services at a secure low interest loans. Interestingly, Google funds these loans itself, while the Lending Club powers a customized automated underwriting process for Google. Google is also an early investor in the Lending Club. For the AdWords loan experiment, Google is merely referring leads to Lending Club, not providing the lending. If approved, the Lending Club would fund the business AdWords account directly. So I thought it was quite interesting. Armando, did you want to share anything with us as well?
No, at this stage, I think that we have to kind of see how this lending club really revolves. And again, it's only being forwarded to some advertisers, so it's almost they're in test mode, and not everybody's getting the notification per se. However, if it does come up, you can actually take, perhaps your clients or some of your clients can leverage from this. Don't know the true details of that, so we'll keep you updated from our side on how this story unveils, because it can potentially bring some value to clients who want to do more AdWords, and who want to spend more money on AdWords, but yet, you know what, they're limited by funds, right? So again, it's a test, so we'll definitely, it's in the right direction. I think it's a good test, but again, we have to see how it pans out, because the one that they tested before, that, for example, the one that they partnered with the banks on the credit card program in 2012 wasn't as successful. So anyhow, we'll keep you posted. Thank you, Amalia. Excellent. The other thing that I want to share with you, just from and again, Google AdWords perspective, a new tool has come out for AdWords users, and this one has to do with mobile bid adjustment simulator. Very interesting tool, and also first position estimate. So they have actually just introduced that right now. Probably, I think they launched it late last week or earlier this week, yesterday. The mobile bid adjustment simulator shows how changing a mobile bid adjustment could have potentially affected impressions, clicks, and spend over the previous 7 days. So if you are doing advertising, Google AdWords campaign to a mobile demographic, or just targeting mobile ads, you can definitely now start using this tool to simulate the bid adjustment. It's a pretty interesting tool. I'm going to show it to you. At the same time, the first position estimate shows the bid you'll likely need for your ad to be shown in position 1 at the top of the first page of results. Bid estimates are relative to device targeting in your campaign. If you're running a mobile campaign, the bid estimate will reflect what's needed to meet the placement threshold on a mobile device. So I have actually added the link. This was actually from a Search Engine Land news post, but the actual link here that I've added here was from Google Plus, where Google's actually showing this. So let me just move forward and show you. So the bid adjustment simulator, basically this tool that is in your Google AdWords, what it does, it actually lets you choose, for example, if my bid, so we start at 0, right? Your bid, you're bidding for mobile and computer tablets and mobile, but if you just want to do strictly mobile, you can actually increase by 20%. And once you do that increase, for example, you're at 0, you increase it by 20%, or you're at 20, you want to increase it to 29, 39, 50, etc. You can actually start seeing some of the data coming up in regards to potential clicks. Let's say we move from 20% to 29%, you can see the actual increase in clicks projected, right? The potential cost, the projected cost, impressions, etc. As well as, it kind of gives you a bit of a graph, right? So it definitely allows you to really do a bit more management on your mobile ads, right? On your mobile campaigns. And I'm just going to share with you, if you give me a quick second. I'm just actually sharing the screen here with you. Sorry, I think I didn't share the screen earlier. You can see here that it goes increase by 20 to 29. It starts giving you the different projections. It even gives you a graph. So again, this is going to be a very good tool if you are managing your own mobile campaigns, your own Google AdWords mobile campaigns. just need a quick second here, and I'm actually gonna share with you the link. I'm gonna go back, just share the link with you. Okay, just give me a quick second. And this was actually posted on Google's Google Plus. So let me share the link for everybody here. Just give me a quick second. So have a look at it, and um, Google actually does show gives you a lot of an explanation, pretty thorough explanation that they released yesterday in regards to mobile and first position bids with the new simulator tools, and it kind of walks you through the different things that you can actually do. Now, my understanding right now, I believe that that this is primarily for um, uh, uh, they were saying that it's been released to all advertisers, but so far I believe only North Americans have confirmed that it's there. But anyhow, have a look at it in your accounts, and you should be able to see it and be able to find the tool in your Google AdWords account. Okay, and again, here's the graph that they mentioned. And very cool. They give you actually the whole explanation that you need to know in order to use it with additional links explaining every aspect of the new mobile the bid adjustment simulator. So again, very very interesting tool. Okay, let's move on. Give me a quick second here so I can get back to the presentation. But I thought that if you are managing your own PPC campaigns, definitely have a look at this tool, the AdWords mobile bid adjustment simulator. It's definitely going to help you out for to manage your campaigns a bit better. Okay. The other news, or yeah, let's call it a piece of news or topic that I wanted to talk about today is in regards to Yahoo's new Google partnership and what does it mean for SEO's future, right? I believe we've barely touched on this a few weeks back, just because I think it was at the end of the week or the middle of the week that Yahoo released this, or both Yahoo and Google released this new partnership. So we didn't really make a big deal about it. But now, in doing some research myself, and looking at two different points of views that I'm going to share with you, there's a couple of things that we have to be on the lookout as digital marketers. It definitely provide us with quite a number of opportunities, right? What is Yahoo's new Google partnership? What does it mean? And I want to, before I start, I want to go back to a couple of things just to kind of bring you up to speed on the deal summary, right? Now, again, this happened back in October, right? And basically, Google and Yahoo signed a 3-year deal to put Google's results and ads into some of Yahoo's search results, right? So again, Google's results and ads are going to be showing on Yahoo search results. So Google advertising on Yahoo pretty much. Now, there is still a couple of things that we need to things that need to be ironed out. For example, it's still waiting for the U.S. Department of Justice approval, and in some cases, they're expecting that, for example, this partnership, 3-year partnership, might actually get vetoed by India or the European Union. So there may be some consequences at the international level, but for now, basically, the companies reach an agreement with, so Yahoo reached an agreement with Google that provides Yahoo with additional flexibility to choose among suppliers of search results and ads. Google's offerings complement the search services provided by Microsoft, which remains a strong partner, as well as Yahoo's own search technologies and ad products. So if you recall, back in April, I believe that we touched base was that Bing and Yahoo, or Yahoo with Microsoft, had reached an agreement to work together, and Yahoo agreed that Bing's ads would appear on 51% of the desktop searches that Yahoo delivers. So the other 49% could be powered by Yahoo's own ad system or from any third party that Yahoo wanted to use. Okay, as it turned out, Yahoo has chosen Google. Now, this is not the first time they've done this. Basically, they actually, if you go back to the year 2000, Yahoo had already partnered up with Google to carry both Google's search results and ads. The partnership did last for many years until Yahoo eventually developed its own in-house search technology and ad service systems in 2004. So there's been always this partnership, and this one alone is only 3 years. Okay, so based on this 3-year deal, Google is going to power both mobile and desktop results for Yahoo, right? So again, for antitrust reasons, the deal does exclude Europe. So kind of putting a little bit into perspective, this new this new partnership. Let's look now. Now that this new partnership has really taken place, let's look now at some of the things that it can potentially have within the overall industry. Some of them are positive. Some of them could potentially be have a negative impact, right? So right now, this is going to be operating until the end of 2018, right? And it does allow Yahoo to have full control over which queries it sends to Google and which ones it sends to Bing. So basically, Yahoo is playing both Google and Bing, right? They're both playing in the playground, right? So one of the key things that they notice, and remember, these are the individuals who wrote these articles. I mean, they have their own opinions, but they do shed some light into what's happening. One of the opinions is that although the brand, through its brand, will likely allow Google to remain the undisputed search champion for several more years, in terms of functionality, we're definitely headed toward an era where search results can be considered mostly platform agnostic. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a second. The other component that's argued is that search engine optimization is no longer synonymous with Google optimization, right? Because at the end, when we're doing SEO, 80 to 90% of the practices are primarily Google driven. And you do take into consideration some of the Yahoo and Bing differences and perhaps tactics into the overall SEO equation or search engine optimization equation, but primarily everything in the spotlight has been with Google. That may change a little bit. Why? Because of the fact that now there's going to be a new relationship happening. So what does that mean for your SEO strategy? So one of the things that the author talks about in this specific article is that if you're following best business practices for on-site optimization, ongoing content creation, and off-site relationship building, there isn't much you have to change. So if you're following the rules, if you are practicing white hat SEO, for example, adaptive SEO, then things shouldn't change much. In terms of apps and digital assistant, most modern search platforms rely on the same indicators and structures to inform their results. So there's no new way of optimizing for apps yet. I mean, you're kind of just using the same standard methodology that you do on desktop and mobile for apps. However, what they're talking about this platform agnosticism is that it's no longer enough to find out where you rank in Google. So when you're doing your reports, primarily we tend to focus a lot on Google rankings and on Google results, but now we have to start paying some attention to where our clients are ranking everywhere. Other search engines such as Bing and Yahoo, and know that your inbound searches won't be limited to only one platform. So because of what's happening, for sure, you'll start seeing over time, I mean, hypothetically speaking, over time, if your client's doing some advertising on both Google and also in Yahoo, but primarily in Google, and those queries or those searches get shown on Google, for sure there will be an increase in traffic coming also from Yahoo, right? Uh, so that's something to keep in mind. Similar thing with Bing, right? The other key thing that they talk about is going to be a simpler yet a more complex search world. With fewer competing, less distinguishable search platforms, search will simultaneously become simpler and more complex. How will it become more complex? Because now you're looking at more various sophisticated algorithms will be responsible for conjuring up results for search queries. So as you can see, the algorithms primarily that are making an impact in SEO are Google driven, right? So those algorithms could even have complex relationships among themselves, such as how Bing can power Cortana, and of course, how Yahoo can leverage from both Bing and Google for its results, right? So depending on how the algorithms pan out, how would that affect the Yahoo results. Now it will become simpler because all you'll need to worry about one set of best practices to rank for nearly all of those complex institutions, right? So this is what we're talking about, that if you are doing white hat SEO, practicing proper adaptive SEO, definitely, you're on the right track. There may be some differences in tactics and again in the way you approach each search platform individually, but for the most part, it should be somewhat universal in a sense, right? One set of best practices, right? Which we find through our experience with adaptive SEO. Just on a bit of an aside note, we do find that that it is something that we if we are properly optimizing using adaptive SEO, we also see already organically an increase in traffic from Yahoo and Bing as well, right? So it is good, right? Now with this, obviously from an SEO perspective, because people, some of those ads are going to be showing, Google ads are going to be showing on Yahoo, you'll probably tend to grab some traffic also from Yahoo, as whether it be primary or secondary type. Um, Perfect. The other thing that the another article from that talks about this partnership, it's on the effects on paid advertising. So I talked a little bit about the SEO component, but though no new AdWords features have been explicitly released, there's an implication that one of your paid Google advertisements could actually show up in a Yahoo search, right? That's something. At this stage, it looks like you don't have the option. It just happens, right? Google doesn't really tell you where it's going to get the traffic from. They're just going to get you the clicks. So some of this may actually, some of these clicks that you're getting or your client's getting on their website may actually come from Yahoo. Now, can that make a difference for your ads? Should it make a difference to you? Yahoo, the only thing is Yahoo using demographics are definitely different from Google using demographics. So we will see the behavior of this traffic coming to your website, right? How they behave, how's the level of stickiness, bounce rate, exit rates, etc. Conversions are going to be very time on site. So all these elements that are behavioral based and even conversion based will definitely may have an impact. Again, it's not like Google's going out there and buying lots of traffic from Yahoo or generating a lot of traffic from Yahoo. It just says that they may choose to use that, right? And the other thing is that advertising costs too could be directly affected by the fact that Google and Bing are now competing for similar spaces outside their own. So in very competitive industries, I would say for verticals, that may actually drive cost per click a little bit higher, right? Because now not only do you have competition within Google advertisers, but now you're going to be competing with Bing advertisers for similar spaces outside of their own. So the Yahoo Google alliance isn't dramatically changing SEO as a catalyst, but it is a good example of how the SEO world is becoming more platform agnostic. So if you're currently only paying attention to Google rankings and performance, it's time to widen your horizons and discover how you're faring on other platforms. So again, in this case, the SEO specialist or the author just takes us back a little bit. Let's take a step back. Let's make sure that we start tracking, we start noticing what's happening on Yahoo and Bing, not just so Google centric. Okay. Now, this other article that was on Search Engine Watch, similar thing. What can we expect with this Google partnership, right? So again, one of the things is that we can definitely see that Google search footprint will grow because now, obviously, they're going to be generating more traffic through Yahoo, and now what the author recommends here is that now it is even more critical that brands advertise with Google to ensure that their ads appear on 2 of the top 3 search engines. So from a branding perspective, right, you want to definitely not just focus on Google or just for the fact that, I'm advertising on Google, but just for the opportunity that when you're advertising for Google, you could also be potentially advertising on Google and on Yahoo. So there's a wider reach, right? There's a higher reach that you can actually attain by doing this. And we could expect that this could further increase competition in Google search, and advertisers could see an increase in CPCs, which is what the other author also mentioned. Now, Yahoo search will be bought through 3 separate engines. So again, this is where it gets a little bit interesting, because now if your brand's audience is on Yahoo, you will need to buy search through 3 different engine platforms. Okay, so if, let's say, you're an advertiser and your brand's audience does come from Yahoo, that's where you find your sweet spot as your target audience. You're gonna have to buy, or you should put a strategy together where you're buying from Google, Bing, and Yahoo's platform, Yahoo Gemini. The challenge for advertisers is that the volume will be segmented between Google, Gemini, and Microsoft on a query-by-query basis, so there is no guarantee that it will remain consistent. Since Gemini launched earlier this year, we have seen some queries served almost exclusively through Bing, while others appear to be served via Yahoo only a fraction of that time. So they seem to be focusing, when you're working with Yahoo Gemini, the majority of these queries are being served exclusively through Bing. So it is recommended that advertisers test all 3 platforms to get a sense of value and performance. So kind of throws us a little bit of an interesting challenge here, because primarily when you're doing any type of paid search, you jump into the Google AdWords, I don't want to say bandwagon, but into that specific priority, right? You prioritize Google AdWords. Now things may change again depending on the demographics, right? I think that if your client or you as the digital marketer already know that your client's demographics fit well into Yahoo, you still want to participate in Yahoo, plus add some into Google, right? Because you want to make sure that you're capturing also those clicks, because it opens up an opportunity for you to gain, additional traffic where potentially before you weren't getting any, right? Um, it does raise questions. I mean, I don't know how that will happen. Maybe there's some rules. And when you look at the nitty gritty of this partnership, what happens if you're advertising both on Yahoo and Google? Would you have, for example, for specific queries or keywords, would you get, double exposure, your ad versus Google's ads, right? Your ad on Yahoo versus your ad on Google. I'm pretty sure that there's some logics there that have been placed together in this partnership to avoid having duplicate displaying of your ads, right? So I would imagine, right? But something to think about. The third aspect is that budgets must be fluid between engines, which I kind of mentioned again. As traffic ramps up and down between the 3 main platforms, advertisers must be quick to adapt to avoid missing opportunity and impression to share. Specifically, for example, whether seasonal activities, right? Holidays are around the corner. What should your client do? Should they just advertise on Google AdWords, or should they advertise on Yahoo alone, or the 2 of them, or Yahoo, Bing, and Google? So again, very, very, very interesting. It would be very imperative that search marketers stay on top of pacing and budget caps due to unexpected shifts from one engine to another. The key thing here, though, is that you as a digital marketer working with your production team or your in-house staff is to really understand where your client's target audience is, or the majority of them, right? And then start from there. So if you know already that Google is the #1, go for Google. If you know that Yahoo is where they primarily are at, definitely you want to start there, run a pilot campaign, and test that out, right? Budget estimates should serve as a starting point, but marketers must be nimble throughout the flight of their campaigns and reallocate funds based on shifts in query volume between engines. Unfortunately, right now, uh, 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 there isn't really one platform where you can measure all this, unless you get a third-party platform, right? Or dashboard interface. But definitely, you have to kind of keep track if you are, looking at doing some advertising in one or more of these platforms, right? For search marketers, change is the only constant in our industry. We recommend a test and learn approach and a flexible strategy that can adapt to unexpected changes in the search landscape. So again, uh, uh, when you're consulting or selling this to a new prospect, or your prospect is selling this to his management team, her management team, you want to make sure that you take that test and learn approach. You want to pilot test 45 days, 60 days, or 90 days, get some real conclusive data, so then you can start expanding. But it definitely tells you that, paid advertising is no longer just a one search engine platform focus, right? You should start paying attention to, number 2 and number 3. So if you're just strictly doing AdWords, look at Yahoo and Bing. If you're just strictly using Yahoo's Gemini, again, or just Yahoo, make sure that you're focusing on looking at AdWords and Bing, and same thing with Bing. So it just makes you kind of think on your overall strategy. Okay, so don't be quick to just um, don't just be quick to just focus on one, but focus on more than the main one. Okay, then the main platform that you are focusing on today. You may have to look at a secondary and third option. The other thing that I wanted to share with you today, just to move on, there was actually about a few weeks back, there was a Learn with Google Classroom exercise or event at SMX East, which is really just like SMX West is one of the top conventions or events of the year for digital marketers, specifically, a lot of focus on SEO. So what happened at this SMX East event last month was that they actually had 3 AdWords product managers sitting in, and I actually kind of show a little bit of the picture here on the right hand side at the event, and they basically took questions from participants and or attendees, conference attendees, and basically answer them. They had 10 questions. I didn't have time to go through all 10, and I just chose the ones that were somewhat relevant to what we do. There's everything there. So there was about 10 key questions, and there's an actual explanation to the questions, and I think they actually have an area in the article where they give you a link to some of the other questions. But what they wanted to focus is on the top 10. I probably focus on the top 4 or 5. One of them was very interesting, which we've kind of talked about it in this webinar, and it's in regards to major increases in cost per click. So the question goes as follows. We've seen major increases in cost per clicks around brand keywords year over year, which was also observed by RKG in the recent report, What's Going On? And the answer was there are multiple things that can affect the average cost per click in your account. Changes in CPC over time are expected behavior because of how dynamic the auction is. If you're seeing big changes over certain time periods, look at longer window and see how those numbers are stacking up historically. So when you're looking at these type of reports, make sure that you are using not just 30-day data, but probably plus 90-day data, and then looking at it historically. So looking at longer date ranges and check for outliers to get an accurate read on how your brand CPCs are actually changing. If you think you're paying too much, you can always reduce your bid to stay within your budget, right? So that was something that kind of came out, that branded keywords that are increasing, and how can I lower that cost, or how can I better manage it? Well, here it is. Looking at the data, and if you find that the data indeed confirms that, adjust your bids accordingly, right? Look for underperforming keywords and just branded keywords, and just focus on the ones that give you the biggest results, right? Number 3 was also very interesting. We're seeing lots of mobile traffic, but haven't seen comparable conversion volume relative to desktop. What can we do to drive more mobile conversions? Very interesting question. So the answer was also very interesting, because basically, mobile users think differently. So when you are doing searches on mobile, or if you are primarily you're a searcher that just uses a mobile device to look for things or to search for things, you actually behave differently. Your path to purchase or path to conversion is a little bit different than if you are a desktop user. So in this one, it talks about that. For example, the answer from the AdWords expert was, it's possible that people are converting from mobile, but they may just be converting in non-traditional ways, meaning from the ad on mobile to the mobile site and converting. The AdWords expert goes on to mention that things like online store and cross-device conversions are common among mobile users, meaning that you actually start your search, and we've seen these in many infographics, where you actually start, and actually Google, I believe, talks a little bit about this in one of their case studies, that once you can start your search on a cross device, right, you actually start your search on the mobile, and then you end up making the conversion on your desktop, right? Or vice versa, right? And this is a practice that happens primarily with users that lean more towards mobile than desktop, right? So they start their search on mobile and then they end up converting on the desktop. And those conversions might not be appearing as traditional AdWords conversions, right? Because the conversion didn't happen from primarily from that original click. So one of the things they ask you is review your all conversions column for insight into these type of conversions. So in your AdWords interface, you have an area called all conversions that pretty much tells you, gives you a summary of all the different conversions. Mobile users also have a different expectation from desktop users about their online experience. So again, take a look at our mobile best practices to better connect with those users. This one I found very interesting. So I'm just gonna pause for a second. I actually want to share this with everyone, and actually share this because this is again data that you can pretty much look into yourself. Just give me a quick second. I want to put the right link there. Okay, so I actually added the link there, and I'm going to share the screen so you can actually see. These are some of the tips that or guide, best to guide from the Google AdWords support team on the mobile advertising. So they have quite a number of elements or best business practices, from making sure that on your mobile creatives you're adding site link extensions, call extensions, location extensions, review and call out extensions. There's so many things that you can do, and they kind of give you a run through, and it's a very detailed run through just on setting up, for example, the mobile creative size. Right, this is just for creative setup, and then it goes and talks to you about mobile targeting. So again, how do you target them? Then mobile measurement, and again goes through a lot of detail on what you can do, and even mobile bidding. So again, I would definitely recommend that if you are going to be aggressively advertising on mobile, that you actually look into this, and definitely be able to get some best business practices for your mobile advertising, right? So this again is a tool that's free for everybody, or a website that you can go and pretty much it's your best business practices, right? Google's best practices. Okay, so just kind of getting back to the presentation here. So again, oh, okay, here we go. We're going back to the screen. 1 second here. The other question that actually we've received before, even here at ALM, is we know people convert really well within a specific distance from a target location. How can I exclude showing ads to people who are outside of that target's location proximity? So again, one of the things that they talk about is really using radio targeting to reach users who are within a certain distance. And there's an article that gives you 10 practical tips that have actually added this on this slide. So the key thing here is, if you only target these areas, then AdWords won't target users outside of that region unless their search behavior indicates an interest in that region, right? But primarily you are able to really hone or single on or laser focus onto that radius that you want to target. Now, if you prefer to only target people physically within that radius, you can update your advanced location targeting to only appear to physical locations. And again, I've added here the link for you to review. So let's just go quickly there, and I'm going to actually post it here. And it gives you a whole thorough explanation and how to just focusing on geo targets, right? Really focusing and honing in on specific geo targets. Okay. Excellent. So just moving forward, the last one that I thought was very interesting, and this is one that you can actually take, and whenever you get that question from your client, we also get it from some new consultants that they're working with their clients, and that question is, what is Google, what's Google's what is Google doing to protect advertisers from fraud and spam? So the answer from the panel was obviously Google takes invalid activity very seriously. By maintaining clean platforms, we've created an advertising environment with a level playing field. I don't know about that, but okay. Where advertisers and publishers of all sizes have the opportunity to succeed. It's crucial that we maintain the trust of advertisers and publishers by keeping invalid activity out of our networks and platforms. So here there are two things that they share with us. One of them is their automated and manual detection systems, and they call it the the Ad Traffic Quality Resource Center. So definitely you can have a look at that. Very easy to remember URL. It identifies anomalies in traffic patterns and block activity that's found to be invalid or fraudulent. This is good if you are positioning Google AdWords to your prospect or to your existing customer, and they're asking questions. What about fraud or happy clickers or etc. How do you get rid of that? Well, you know what? We follow Google's best business practices, and here are the things that they do to prevent that, right? And then the other thing that they talk about is, they actually have a full report on on their AdWords blog, which talk about fighting bad advertising. So, they actually give you a thorough report of the things that they've done in 2014, right? And you can even use some of these stats to share with your clients. For example, this stat: they've banned 7,000 advertisers from promoting counterfeit goods, down from 14,000 in 2013 and 82,000 in 2012, demonstrating that counterfeiters are increasingly unable to circumvent our advanced enforcement system. Also talking about protecting against malicious software, and against weight loss scams. So, there's a lot of that going on, right? While many advertisers selling dietary supplements provide accurate information, some bad actors use outrageous claims to entice customers. So, they talk about what they're doing from their side. And you know what? You can actually share some of these things with your clients if they're a little bit hesitant about advertising on AdWords. So I thought this one was a very good link that you can definitely share. You should review beforehand, but if one of your prospects or existing customers is asked, they're only doing SEO, they're a little bit hesitant or afraid to do advertising on Google AdWords, this is something that we can do. Okay, excellent. So just moving forward here. So this is you can actually find this this on the search engine land website. 10 things people want to know about AdWords. Uh, the other 4 or 5 things were they had different questions, but I just wanted to share these top 4 with you today. Again, everyone, thank you for being with us today. Don't have any questions today. It seems that everything was very self-explanatory. Thank you for attending. And as Amalia has shared with you, hopefully the last week of November we'll have a guest speaker, and we'll be letting you know in advance next week who that will be or what that topic will be, so you can prepare. But we're looking at bringing either somebody that focuses on Google Analytics or on lead generation. So we'll keep you posted on that. Amalia?
I just want to say thank you for everybody joining, and we look forward to the upcoming weeks.
Excellent.
Definitely join us.
Have yourself a great week, and thank you for joining us. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.